Welcome to everyone. I am Shubham, host for this webinar. Thank you for joining us today. Let's begin a section to a wonderful topic, confidence versus overconfidence. And we appreciate you all are attending the today. So let's kick start our section with the great quote. Let's not be overconfident. We still have to count the votes in the capacity as your host of this webinar on the topic of confidence versus overconfident. Our honor motivational speaker Sangeeta Param ma'am, a few lines about the speakers. Shubham Verma, on the behalf of SEMS Welfare Foundation, would like to give my heartiest welcome to Sangeeta Param ma'am, an author, poet as motivational speaker, with a huge round of applause for joining us today. Your presence has added to the importance of this event, and we are genuinely honored to have ma'am. Once again, warm welcome to all the participants, our distinct guest, our honor, Sangeeta Param ma'am. We are looking forward to information and enjoyable event ahead. Now over to you, ma'am.
Hi, thank you so much, Shubham. It was such a nice welcome by you. Thank you so much, and good evening, everybody. My name is Sangeeta, and I welcome you all to this event this evening. And it's I think this is something I have to first thank you all for being here, because today is a Saturday afternoon and we have the finals going on this evening, and I'm pretty sure that all of you are excited to see the India and South Africa match today. I actually didn't know it was with South Africa. I actually had to ask my friend, I'm like, who's India playing against? And they're like, oh, South Africa. I'm like, oh, wow, let me use this information and tell everybody about it, like promote our country and all. Yeah, so I think that is another way of just saying I was overconfident that we have India's finals today, but I didn't know who it was. So I'm going to just go ahead and start our session today. But first things first is I just want to tell you that this is not going to be a very formal kind of talk. It's not going to be something where you have to like take notes or anything like that. But I think you can take notes in your memory. You can take notes as lessons. You can take notes as something which you can help yourself or help somebody else. And I'm just going to be myself. Okay. So I'm just going to start off with just be yourself, just enjoy this session, and I hope that we both can take something away from this today. So I'm going to start sharing my screen because I prepared this PPT, which is like a pretty old PPT. So my sister's like, you need to start preparing something new, and I'm going to start doing this sharing of the screen. So just give me, we're going to start our session today. So my name is Sangeeta Param. I am a motivational speaker, an author, a poet, a mental health advocate, and I am from Bangalore. And today here in Bangalore, it's pretty cold and it's humid and it's all over the place. It's very cloudy. So everybody, I think, in this part of the city is all sitting in there with their hot cup of chai and sipping on some nice hot fried item or something like that. So I'm so sorry for the background because my cat is kind of excited and she's crying, so I kind of can't tell her to stop meowing, but slowly she will stop. I think she's also excited for our session today. So my story, I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. So these are two mental illnesses. Bipolar disorder is one that affects the brain. Borderline personality disorder is something that affects the mind. Mind you, I think we all are so excited by Google and the Meta AI thing and all these amazing things that we go and try to self-diagnose, which is the first thing we need to stop doing. Because in Google, no, I think most of the time, even when I read about anything beyond my mental health issues, I feel that I have them. Like even for a small thing, like even if you see a post on Instagram or you see a meme or something which is like making you feel overwhelmed or something, and you're like, oh my god, maybe I have this, maybe I have that. But trust me, going onto Google and trying to diagnose yourself for depression or any kind of mental illness is the first thing you should not do. If you do have symptoms, please do talk to somebody about it, or you can meet a psychologist and you try to find out what's going on, whether it is a diagnosis is or what it is, and do seek help with the help of a professional. Bipolar disorder is a disorder where I have extreme mood swings because of extreme productions of hormones in my mind. So there's mania and there's depression. There are two types of bipolar 1 where mania is more, and bipolar 2 where depression is more. So for me, depression is more. So I am type 2 bipolar. So what happens is that at random times, for no reason, I feel sad, or for no reason, I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. I become completely dysfunctional. I always sleep a lot, or I eat too much, or I don't eat at all. And most of the time, it happens for no particular reason at all. There wouldn't be any trigger. And I was telling you about the weather, right? So there's something called as SAD, seasonal affective disorder, which affects people who already have an illness. So the past month has been a little bit difficult for me because, as I told you, the weather is gloomy. It's already, as people who don't have a mental illness itself find it difficult to get out of bed and go to work when the weather is so gloomy that you just want to cuddle and tuck inside. But it also affects us a lot, and I've been having a few tough weeks, but I'm hoping to get over it soon, because I think the first step I did was hold on and not ask Lakshmi to cancel the session today. So I'm like, okay, I need to do this. It's going to help me, and I hope that it helps somebody else. There's borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder affects the mind. So my symptoms of BPD was I have very low self-esteem. I honestly, even today, I do not love myself. I find it so difficult to pat myself on the back and say I did a great job. Man, I try to do it, but I'm not able to do it. But I'm hopefully trying to. I hope I get there someday. I have fear of abandonment. So even today, I ask my parents, will you leave me and go? Or I'll ask my sister, will you leave me and go? Because I'm scared that people will leave me and go because I'm not good enough for them. A fear of worthlessness. And, I have self-harm addiction. I had self-harm addiction, but, I try to work on it. I am trying to work on it, but I think I hurt myself a few months back. And yeah, I did. I was disappointed in myself because I know I was like trying to keep that streak for so long that I did not do it. But I instead gave myself a pat on the back, trying to say that I didn't self harm for this long. But it's okay. I had a step back, so let me just try and keep that. If I didn't do it for 6 months, let's hope that I don't do it for 6 months one day. So it starts off like that slowly. And I had a history of sexual abuse. I was bullied. My dad is a cancer survivor, so I had a when I was very young, my dad was diagnosed, and he and my mom were in the hospital for 3 months. And the only thing I can short my childhood as I lost my innocence very young. Like, I learned that death can come knocking at any time. I had to grow up faster than I could ever. Like, I didn't get that time in my life to be innocent and not know what the world wants. So post my diagnosis, how did I get diagnosed in the first place? So I wanted to kill myself. Yeah, so I attempted suicide 10 years back, exactly 10 years back in November, where I wanted to just walk in. I had two options. Okay, I wanted to walk in front of the bus, or I wanted to take myself off the train, exactly how we learn from the movies. But I don't know what happened. I just called my dad, and I just told him that I don't want to live anymore. I'm done with this life. Just help me. I just asked for help, hoping that I didn't know what would be the result, but I just asked him for help. And he took me to a psychologist where I underwent so many tests. I sat through the day. Tests means not like they put an injection to you and pull out blood, but they are psychological assessment tests. So, like how we have exams, multiple choice questions, I had to answer so many multiple choice questions. And then they put it on a chart, and I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. And on that day, I was so relieved. I'm like, finally there is a reason for all this is happening. I did not pity myself, because I was finally like, finally I can take a breath. There are other people who have diagnosis. There are people doing research on this. There's so many books written on it. There is papers being produced on this. And I was so relieved on that day. And that's when my journey with psychologists, therapy, and medication began. So I still go for therapy. 10 years later, I still go for therapy once a week, and I am still on medication. But one change is I started with 18 medicines a day, and today I'm just on 3. So that's a huge success for me. And yeah, I still take medication. I still have ups and downs. I still have good days and bad days. But I think I just hope to keep going forward. And I hope that I do make a difference, or I hope, because this is something that I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. I hope I can benefit from it by trying to help other people, and that's the main reason I started talking about it. Hence comes to public speaking, and I started writing. So writing gives me a lot of comfort, because I write all my feelings, I write all the pain, I put it onto words, because most of the time none of us are able to explain what is happening. So I try to put it down on words, and I published 2 books with it. But people ask me, why do you write such sad stuff? Why don't you write about sunflowers and rainbow and something very happening, like something very very happy? So if you go to a bookstore, like, you have so many self-help books, how to become successful, how to be happy, how to like be motivated, but nobody really writes what it's like to feel pain. When someone takes my book, I want them to open up, and then when they read it, they'll be like, oh my god, there's a person who actually feels the same thing. I'm not alone. So that's the main reason I wrote, and I hope you people will get my books. It's called Key to Acceptance and Echoes in My Attic. Write it down so that you can go to Amazon and buy them for yourselves. A little bit of self promotion, I know, but yeah, I mean, I have to try, no? So the Pandora box of secrets opened during therapy. Like I said, I was bullied, cancer caregiver for my dad, sexual assault, and all of these triggers led me to become to end up, I mean, me having borderline personality disorder. So when I was bullied when I was very young, like 5 6 years old, and that was when my self-esteem went down, because I realized that if I say sorry or if I say thank you, my friends will be my friends. And I realized that gratitude and apologizing to people for no reason, that is when the seed for low self-esteem started. I didn't feel good. I mean, why would you thank someone, and why would you apologize for something you don't know? You don't know why you're apologizing. I didn't know. I apologized so that they wouldn't leave me. Again, fear of abandonment started there. So yeah, so basically all these things, this whole screen, okay, is what led to borderline personality disorder. So as a cancer caregiver, I had to suddenly take responsibility. Shout out to all the elder siblings there. I mean, I think you all can understand being the elder sibling, taking charge and taking care of your younger siblings, trying to protect them from this whole innocence, what you're going through, trying to be the hero of the family. Yeah, I think all elder siblings end up doing this, and we have, like, we want to be the strongest person. We don't want to share anything to anybody, and because we feel that we tend to have to hold the family together. So shout out to all the elder siblings on the call today. Sexual assault, I was sexually abused when I was 10, and it was a family member. So it was very shocking for me, because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was normal, but only later I realized that. And eventually it started like groping, and people, like misbehaving and all that. I'm very sure that most of the people who are listening today, let it be a man, let it be a woman, I'm sure you would have undergone some sort of abuse through your life, and it would be a hidden trauma, or for many of people like us, it would be coming out as something which triggers you a lot. So yeah, and I just hope that we all can hold on, and we all are sailing the same boat. So I know that it can be something little traumatize, it will traumatize you a lot, but I guess we can get there someday, where we can hold each other's hands and realize. So all this led to this Pandora box of abuse, and like self-harm, loneliness, feeling of worthlessness, not being able to stand up for myself, all of this. So this is because of BPD. Okay, my personality disorder happened because of all of this, but my bipolar has nothing to do with any of this. It could also trigger all of this, but basically it's like a catalyst. Okay, my bipolar is a catalyst. So now if I'm depressed and one of these thoughts come in, it kind of catalyzes the whole thing, and it becomes triple of more than I can imagine. Okay, like because of sexual abuse, I get angry a lot, I get triggered a lot, I get very aggressive. So if I am depressed at the same time, or if I'm affected by bipolar at the same time, it kind of escalates to such an extent where I can't handle myself. I need my family members to, like, literally, they have an SOS medicine for me, that they give it to me and they sedate me immediately, they help me calm down. And so bipolar is something I inherited. Yeah, so got the best DNA of my family. Like I keep telling them, you gave me all the amazing DNAs of where I put on weight, I lose hair, and I got a mental illness because of that. So my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, my father's mother, she had schizophrenia, and she was diagnosed with postpartum depression led to it after my dad's birth. So basically, my dad did not have a proper mother's love growing up. And when he saw the symptoms in me, he took the oath that I was not able to help my mom because I was growing up as a boy. But today, as a father, I need to make sure my daughter does not get, eaten up by the mental illness, which my grandmother had subjected herself to. So yeah, the morals I learned from my life experience define my character today and my life choices today. But it can be both. Okay, it can be good choices and bad choices. So I'm hoping to praise myself on the good choices and learn lessons from the bad ones, because it's not like all of us are perfect all the time. So let's come to today's topic. Confidence, feeling sure of yourself and your ability. Overconfidence, overpowering with the necessity of validation derived from deeper insecurities. Which one are you? So this seems very complicated. I basically copied this from Google. I put Google, what is the definition of confidence, what is definition of overconfidence, cut and pasted it here. Basically, this is what it is. Because I was too lazy to search an Oxford dictionary. When was the last time we looked at book and all? No, correct. So I think most of us are underconfident, and when it comes to our underconfidence is overpowered by the overconfidence, because we feel that if we show that we know it, we would be accepted in the society. We would, come under the societal norms when it comes to work, or when it comes to anything. When it comes to being confident to, even for example, like what I told about the match today. I have zero knowledge on cricket, but the way I put it forward is like as though I'm going to cut this call and go and sit and watch the match throughout. But that's not going to happen. So that I didn't realize that I would be showing off as a overconfident part of it. But my underconfidence of not knowing anything ABC of cricket, I tried to show it by telling that, oh, today there is match. Something what I'm trying to tell you all today. So reality of life and social norms. Okay, so what happens? Okay, so when we are born, so let's start with the season one. So what happens is, when we are young, when we are like 5, 6 years old. Okay, so this is a question to all of you that I want you to answer in your head, or you can even leave it on the chat box. When you are 5, 6 years old, people will ask, what is your what do you want to become when you grow up? Lot of us have different answers. So I work in an insurance company, and I went randomly and I asked them, what did you want to become when you were 6 years old? What do you want to become when you grow up? So there's this person who said he wanted to become a police officer. There was another lady who told me, she's like maybe 50, 55 years old. She told me she wanted to become a part of a circus, because she wanted to travel everywhere and bring joy into people's lives. But now she's in an insurance company working in a desk job. So I wanted to get into the army. I wanted to get into defense. Like, I wanted to protect my country and all that. So all of us, when we were 6, 7 years old, none of us knew about EMIs, about engineering, about NEET, CET written exam for, to apply for colleges. None of us knew anything about all of these things. Our whole life revolved around superpowers and superheroes and, every real thing. Like, one of us wanted to become a firefighter. Even somebody even really told me that I wanted to, become a school driver, so that I can go around, school bus driver. So all of these things seem so small right now. Like, none of us even think that what did we want to become and where are we today. After that, when we reach our 11th, maybe 10th, 9th and 10th standard, the pressure of board exam begins. And 9th standard only, that pressure said, oh my god, next year 10th standard, what is going to be your percentage? Oh my god, did you put 30 tuitions? Did you like start his, do all your preparatory exams? There's that and all that starts. Then the first time the lie comes, this 1 year you work very hard, then you can enjoy for the rest of your life. That lie starts from when you are in 10th. After that comes to 11th and 12th. The first decision is, are you taking science or commerce? And even in science, is it going to be computers or biology? So our life decisions come into 4 different things. If we choose arts by mistake, we are put down by the society so much. Oh, she must have, or he must have taken arts because he's dumb, or he did not get good marks in 10th. Yeah, so that itself is a pressure. Even though if you like, I didn't know I like writing. I didn't even realize it until I started, when I had depression, is when I started writing in the first place. I didn't know. Like, if I had known that I could write, I would have definitely divorced science long back and I would have gone into journalism or something like that, But I didn't know that I had a talent in this or I had an interest like this. It was only told to me, you have 2 choices. You have PCMB or PCMC. Like, there was no choice of commerce also. So then comes there, then you come to 12th standard, and again, one more year you struggle really hard, you will enjoy the rest of your life. That happens, and then we come into engineering or medicine. Only last option is getting into BSc or any other form, any other degree form. Our first choice is engineering or medicine. You don't get into any of that, minus it then comes, because any of these things, it's already given. There is like, it's like different levels of society. The first, the cream of the society is engineers and people who do medicine. People who do anything else come below, 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 below. I don't know why that happens, but that is what we are exposed to at a teenage year. When we are teenagers, we hardly know what is happening. We are hyper all the time, and we tend to seek guidance from our family and elders and everything, and we don't have that much exposure that there are other things we can involve ourselves into as well. We get into engineering. First 3 years of engineering is great. Final year, you're stuffed with prepare yourself for your job interviews and campus recruitment and the best you need to get into the best company that comes in with the best CTC. If you don't, then you are questioned. And even once you get into a job, say let it be whatever it is, pressure comes from your colleagues, pressure comes from your friends. How much is your CTC? Are you growing up in your career? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that? So much of stress. After you get into a job, marriage, that is the first thing. When you're like 20, 25 people, have you ask your parents, have you started looking for your child? I mean, now it's very difficult, right? Did you put their horoscope out? Would you like me to look for your daughter or son? And when we are the last person who thinks about getting married, we want to do so many things. We get married because of societal pressure. Then we have to give birth, because once you get married, what is the next this thing? You have a child, then everything will get solved. This lie that starts in 10th standard continues to the rest of your life until you give birth to a child, and the cycle repeats. And then we all decide that we all come into this proper network where we start with EMIs, clearing loans, we all take responsibilities as a daughter or a son, as a sibling, as an employee, as an employer, as a parent, as a son or a daughter to your parents growing old, that we forget who we are. That 6 or 7 year old who wanted to become a clown in a circus is now trying to barely identify who they are. And even sometimes if we do, what is our go-to strategy? Our go-to thing is, we will retire once all our responsibilities are done. We will retire at 60, and then we will start living. So first thing is, what guarantee that you will retire at 60 and you'll be alive till then? Live today. This is what I learned from a very after all this, going through all this in life, I realized that all the social norms are not something that I can deal with. So I just turned 30 this year, and I'm feeling so depressed by it. I just turned 30 1 week back, and my sister's like, you're officially entered old age. So I'm trying to convince myself that I'm in my late 20s yet. But yeah, I have made a grand welcome to the 30s, and being 30, being not married itself is a huge pressure for me, because the thing is, people around me are getting married. The biggest influence is social media. Like, I go to social media and everybody is either having pre-wedding photo shoot, or they're having like pictures of their this thing, pre-maternity shoot, or shoots of their children, and I am sitting here looking at them. My time evening goes in looking at other people getting married. And even though I have the confidence that I am not confident enough to handle a marital situation right now, the pressure around me is so much. Like, even everybody around me is telling me, why don't you get married and this and that. I myself, like, inside I know that I'm not ready for it. But the way people make it sound is as though, like, it is the only thing that you are missing out. Like, there's something wrong with you, that it is not happening to you. Like, people are telling me, go to this temple and pray. They're convincing my parents, you do this puja at home, 6 months she will get married. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is, I'm not mentally ready to take care of my own self. Where will I handle a house? Where will I handle a marital life? It's like that with everything. This is just my example. So I'll give you another example. When it comes to work, okay, you say you're meeting, say you're 40, you're meeting your school friend who's also your age, but say that person is a CEO and you are still in the same position you are when you met him 5 years back. How will you feel about yourself? Will you be happy with yourself? Will you be jealous of him? You will put yourself so low that this person, like how it starts in school, you both have the same class teacher, you both study the same book, you both go to the same tuitions. How did you get 60 when your best friend got 90? the same thing comes to us. We tend to look at ourselves in the same way. We both did the same thing, but how is he a CEO and how am I still stuck in the same position? There is so much pressure on us that we put on ourselves. But these pressures are something we cannot run away from, and these pressures are something we need to deal with. But amongst all of this, there is so much more that we can do, even though we are filled with all of these responsibilities around us. So, what should be the reality of our lives? So, let's start with me again, like because I'm giving the talk and all that. So basically, what we need to do is we need to bring back the child in us. Okay. So that is what I do. Because, people, when they first talk to me, like the first impression I give is they ask me, are you the younger child? Because they all think that I am very pampered. I am a little bit, but yeah, they think that I'm very pampered. I get everything I want because of the energies I throw off. Because I feel I get excited with small things in life. Small things bring me a lot of happiness. So this thing of what did I want to be when you grew up, so you would have taken that choice of whatever you wanted to be because you wanted to do something about it. Some people wanted to get into a band and become a huge guitar player, and none of us are able to do that. So we have a reason. There is a talent we have in ourselves that we were proud of, that we wanted to showcase through our answer. So we all pursued that. All our parents put us into guitar class, swimming, yoga. We went to all those classes. What happened to all those talents we all cherished? When we came to 11th and 12th, none of those talents were identified. So go back to that 7-year old, go back to that slam book where you wrote hobbies, and what did you write in your hobbies? I'm pretty sure it was not making presentations, buying groceries, cooking for the whole family. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that, but go back to those hobbies: coloring, dancing, singing, going for a walk, taking pictures, all of those things, sports, traveling, art, all of those things would be there. How much of it are you doing today? Because all of us are stuck in that role, in different roles. We all do a lot of role play. I meant it in a good way, like a lot of role play in our life. We begin, when do we put us under a spotlight? When do we start taking care of ourselves? Taking care of ourselves, I'm not telling by, getting your medical test done every year. That's not what, or getting into a good diet or exercise. I'm not saying that is bad, but that is for your physical health. For your mental health, you need to first put yourself first. So how do you do that? Because we tend to feel very selfish when we do that, because we feel that, I'm supposed to be taking care of my family. What am I doing taking care of myself? I'm asking you to do something really, really small, which does not take a lot of time. Sit with a cup of coffee, enjoy the coffee, and look at the weather outside, observe different things. And when you're sipping that cup of coffee, the thoughts in your head should not be, I have to buy 1 kg atta tomorrow, that is over, and then I have to cook this, or this presentation, I have to put this slide in this presentation, I have to reply to those mails. This is not what has to be running in your head. You need to think of something, or you go blank, don't think of anything. That is when you take care of yourself. You just calm yourself down, literally enjoy that cup of coffee. How much sugar it has, enjoy the taste, because none of us do that. It's something as small as that gives you a lot of relaxation, because that is when you're focusing on something that is real, that is in front of you, that is in the present, that is in your control. There are so many things that is beyond our control that we cannot do it. So that is where you build your confidence. You build your confidence within yourself and in yourself, that you will be, when you do that, when you
Excuse me, ma'am, you're on mute. Hello, Sangeeta, ma'am, you're on mute.
am I still on mute?
No, no, yes, you are audible now, please.
Till where you people heard? Where did I stop last? I forgot. Where did I stop last? Somebody tell me. Is someone there?
The previous slide.
Previous slide. Oh, huh. I got distracted, no, so I forgot. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to, like, yeah. Wait, bro. This is not happening. I'm very bad at this. Okay, my sister literally sat and did this for me, and then now she's gone out to buy charts. So I'm pretty, like, I'm not very tech savvy. So yeah. Ha. So coming back again, where did I stop? See, this is what I'm trying to say. I try to be myself, because I don't want to picture a perfection, because I'm pretty sure I'll go back after this call and I'll be like, oh no, I muted myself, I stopped, I stammered. This is what I want to try to remove. There's going to be normalcy, because even when you have to present to whoever, don't know anybody, I don't know any of you listening, I'm scared that whether you'll judge me or no, but I want to remove that, because I want to instill confidence in myself, that it's okay that even though I unmuted myself and I'm stammering right now, not able to pick up where I left off, I will get there, because that is normal, no? Because all of us put ourselves in so much pressure that we forget to say it's okay if you make a mistake. It's okay if you get stuck. It's okay if you mute yourself and don't know how to go back to the PPT later. That is what I'm trying to say. So how do you? This is what I do. Okay, this is basically what I do when it comes to my mental health. Because see, people who are not mentally diagnosed, are not diagnosed with a mental illness itself, find it difficult to day basis things. I am trying to do this for myself. I identify my moods. So my therapist told me, because I get right now, because of that SAD I told you, the seasonal affective disorder, I'm having lot of rapid mood swings. Okay, so I'm having like randomly I'll get angry, then I'll be restless, then I'll go into one zone out mode. And then she asked me to write down what are my different moods, which I didn't do. Okay, she gave me homework. She told, identify your moods, write it down, and write the period of it. Okay, she gave me full on homework. I wrote one day and did it one day, but I didn't do it after that. Yeah, that is my fault, but yeah, I have to do that. Okay, this will be my step today. I'll start doing that. The mood tracker, she asked me to identify it, because when I identify it, I'm more aware of it. The reason she asked me to do it is very sensible, but I didn't do it. That's my fault. Yeah, okay, I'm guilty as yeah, I'm guilty of not doing it, because if I'm telling you I did it, then that would make me a complete hypocrite. But I'm trying to be honest here. I didn't do it. Yeah, but now there comes the next part of taking baby steps. But I did it one day, no, so I'm sure that I'll be able to do it other days as well. One note I did. So let's hope that I am trying to take baby steps and do it every day. I'm not going to be hard on myself that I didn't do it, because I still have the opportunity to do it and I am going to try. So, what basically happens to all of us is we beat ourselves so badly for so many things that we are supposed to do, and if we don't do them, because we always do our work trying to hope to be the employee of the month. We try to become the best parent award, best child award, best sibling award. We do all our responsibilities hoping that we are keeping ourselves in a level, and we try to reach that level no matter what happens. And that level is kept or defined, whatever level that is defined by whom or what or why. I have no idea why that happens, but that's what all of us do. That's what I also do. So for me, sometimes it's very difficult to get up in the morning and even take a shower, or even brush my teeth. But it has happened where I take a very long, like it takes 2-3 days for me. But on that day, if I get up and I do take a shower and if I do brush my teeth, I know very bad hygiene, but yeah, if I do that, I make sure that I give myself something for it, a small reward. And most of the time it's food, because I love food. It would be something really small, but I would enjoy that. Whatever I'll order, I'll enjoy it so much. I'll enjoy it. Every spoon I take, every sip of a drink I have, I enjoy it and make sure that I enjoyed this food because I did something for myself that I had power over. I had control over it. I did it, and I did it with nobody's help. And I did it for myself, not because I have to go to work, or not because I feel that I'm being a pain to someone. I did it because I wanted to do it, and for good reasons. So that is what is most important. Most important is whatever you're doing it for yourself. There are times where we are forced to do it for somebody else. Even if you're let it be my own mother. My mother, even if she's not well, all our mothers are like that. She will get up and she'll cook for everybody. I'm like, nothing will happen if you eat from outside, or nothing will happen. No, 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 no. As a mother, it's my responsibility to feed the family. No matter how sick I am, I shall do it. Nobody said that mothers have to feed everybody. Nobody said that. You can take one day off, you can take rest. So first you need to tell that to yourself. I tell my mom, you need to tell yourself that, it's okay. She has two children who are grown up, and she has a husband who can fend for them himself. One day if he eats in canteen, nothing is going to happen. I need to take rest so that I can take care of myself better. I need a time off. You need to first give yourself that thing, that it's okay if I take a break. The world will not come to an end. It's okay if I sleep in one day. But it's also important that you don't keep that it's okay all the time. You also get back. Take a break. Fine, take a break for 2 days. It's okay. But on the third day, you need to at least try to get out of bed. Try to do something. It could be something small. And when you do that, you need to remember to cherish that, to give yourself credit for that. I try to do it, but I don't give myself credit in the form of words, which I have to start doing. As I said, I don't love myself, but I do try to give credit to myself in the form of food. That is most of the time what I do. But let's hope that I can, that is for me. So when I give talks, it's important for me to start doing what I preach. I can't just come and preach. So I also remind myself that I have to start doing it as well. Then befriend yourself, face yourself. If you're not able to do it, it's okay. You can, but as I said, it's okay. It's fine. But remember to try. Okay. You need to beat yourself up only if you don't try. But if you do try, it's okay if you still need a day to recover, because running away or going on vacation doesn't help. You have to come back to this, right? You can't switch your mind off. Yeah, being distracted is okay. Watching a series and finishing off the episodes, it's okay. But once you finish the series, or once you finish the episodes, once you come back from vacation, just coming back to the same space, you're coming back to the same thing. So the main reason is, when you're trying to work on yourself, you tend to realize that this problem, I could have approached it in a different way, looking at it through a different eye. So it gives you a refreshing start. Seek comfort and support from your inner circle, which is really important. So you need to have an inner circle whom you can trust. So my inner circle is my family, and I told, I introduced my cat's voice in the beginning. So my cats, they are a big support to me, and I just go sit and talk to them, and I tell them that, bro, I had such a bad day at work. It's not like they understand that they give me solace, but their presence there, and their tail just rubbing on my hand it makes me feel good that somebody is there to listen to me. Keep an inner circle, trust them, and if you're having issues with something, you tell them what they can do to help you, which is what happens to me. So I told you that I was very aggressive and very angry. My parents, if they shout, it triggers me even more, because when they are not able to handle their emotion. So when I am okay, I tell them. When I'm aggressive and angry, if you are reacting with anger, it only escalates the situation where I can't handle myself. When you are okay, you just tell them that. So they also know how to deal it with you. So now they don't get aggressive. So now, final words, because I am thirsty and I have spoken so much. Remember the importance and power of your smile. Your smile is something which is very, very valuable, not just to everyone around you, but to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and just smile. My friend tells me that when I smile, I have rabbit teeth. It first made me conscious, and then I realized, because when I was small, I was so underconfident. I would never smile with my teeth. I would just give a normal smile that we do for passport office, no, that normal passport photo smile I had. But then I realized that I can smile with my teeth. It's okay. So yeah, I started smiling with my teeth, and so yeah, see my smile. I think all of you should embrace that smile, and you should be the reason behind your smile, not just because someone said so. Not because my friend said I had rabbit teeth that I smiled. I was just glad that I have the confidence to smile with my teeth, which I did not have when I was 9, 10 years old. Today I'm a different person. So I should be the reason behind my smile, not because someone said something or someone did something, just because something I did, or because of something, or it can even be because how I reacted to what he said or how I reacted to what she said. That is also important, because many a times we lose our mind, we fight with them, or if we decided to walk away, or if we decided to deal with it in a different way, that is also an improvement. That is also a reason to reward yourself. The biggest, we all judge everybody. Okay, all of us judge everybody. It's something which is we are built with. I think during evolution, that's what happened. We judge everybody. Oh my god, what is she wearing? Oh my god, what is he doing? The whole society is like that. We are also like that. I mean, I'm like that. Like, bro, what is she wearing? I'm like that. But I try not to judge myself. I do that a lot. But when I look in the mirror, I try to say that, okay, I had a pimple here, but now it's gone. I mean, it could have left a very bad mark, but it has left a very small mark. So let's focus on that. It's left only a small mark. So it's like that. I could make it big and seem like, oh my God, it's such a huge mark. Everybody, when they see me, they see only that. But right now, I'm focusing on it just left a small mark. So I'm glad about that. So it's something as small as that. Crossing every small obstacle can also be an achievement. Like I told you, making, for me, going to work from Monday to Friday itself is a big thing. And when I do that, I reward myself on Saturday by sleeping. So this actually, I literally woke up at 5:30 today in the evening, and I messaged Rakshmi and I'm like, can you please send the link because I'm not ready. And I went, and she said the talk is only at 6:30. I'm like, no, 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 you send it off to me. I'll just check it once and all that. So I was a bit nervous. So yeah, and then I went and I got myself ready and I came for the talk. And so yay, make your weakness your strength. Biggest example, me. I'm not trying to show off, but yeah, because this is a mental illness I have to deal with my whole life. I'm just hoping that I can use this to help somebody else. I hope that all of you take a lesson today home. You eat pani puri because you did something good. You eat gems or you eat chocolate or enjoy that eclairs and that caramel getting stuck in your teeth for no reason at all. Taking care of your mental health is as important as taking care of your physical health. Every year we all do blood tests to check our, we all take crocin when we have fever, but how many of us take care of our mental health? How many of us take care when we are stressed? How many of us take leave just to take rest for your mind? To that, I think that is what is most important. So this is my journey from a patient. Today I'm a depression survivor. I'm a survivor of a mental illness, and yeah, every day is a struggle. Some days are great, some days suck, but I still hope that it gets better every day. And even if it doesn't, I just keep my fingers crossed because it may or may not get better, but I have to still try. So if you have anything, I am also like one thing. Okay, I also want Instagram followers and all. So yeah, please follow me on Instagram. These are my books. If you like reading or you would like to restart your hobby today, please do buy my books. They're called Key to Acceptance and Echoes in My Attic. So yeah, that's about me, and thank you so much for coming today and sharing my story. Now I will leave the floor to all of you for questions and all of that, I guess. So this is mine is done. What is the difference between overconfidence and faith? Okay, so overconfident, faith is completely different. No, faith is belief system. Faith is something. Faith comes to religion, it comes to spirituality, it comes to a lot of things. It's basically a belief system. So I cannot what you believe in, basically. So overconfidence and faith are basically not related to each other. But I think a simple example would be, for me, this is what I don't believe in, is bribing God. So I wouldn't like, a lot of people say, no, like, I will break 100 coconuts for you if you help me pass in an exam. And you're confident when you break 100 coconuts that you'll definitely pass in the exam. So it doesn't work that way. So that is what I don't believe in. You need to also put your hard work. You put your hard work, and if you did your best, you would definitely pass. But even if you don't pass and you have given your best, if you can touch your heart and say that I have given my best but I did not pass, it's okay. That means your capability is this much, but maybe in this place you're just this much, somewhere else you're that much. Like, maybe you're 50% here in this particular field, but when it comes to some other field you would be a total 110%. So I think overconfidence and faith, when it comes to that, is that you leave it on to faith for your confidence to build. But I think it's the faith you have in yourself is what matters more, rather than anything else. Thank you so much, Raksha. One quick session during this phase. Do books help you? If mentioned, can you please keep a few that keeps you going? Honestly, books, yeah. My book will help. Okay, like, very secretly advertising, but yeah, not my book, but I think for me, reading a book itself is a huge thing. I right now I'm reading fiction. There's a book called The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, so it kind of keeps my mind engaged. It's more about, even though we read books, it's about how much we actually practice what we read. Not all of us practice what we read. It's about doing what you're able to do, because we do have a lot of books. I am not a big fan of helping books, going through books or anything like that, but I think that would be okay. Like, basically trying to indulge your hobby in. So yes, that's about it. Anybody else? Would you like to share anything, ask anything, or anything at all? Please.
Hello, ma'am.
This
Good
is.
evening to you.
I'm sorry.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thanks for ma'am sharing your personal experiences. And I I have one question that
Yes.
how can feedback from others help in managing confidence level?
Feedback from others. How does it help manage confidence level?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, this is something. Yeah, I was just reading through the chats that read feedback form. No, so I that is the first thing I wait for when Lakshmi finishes the call. I'll be like above feedback, feedback, feedback. What are they going to say? So yes, so a lot of people ask me, like do you go through the feedback? Do you read what everybody says, or do you It makes me happy when people say amazing things, but when people say things which are not very suitable to me, I do feel bad. It's not that I'm not I'm human. I do feel bad, but then I go back to it and I see that what more can I change? Okay, or how much of what they said. See, it's not just about the feedback from here. It could be any conversation with anybody. How much of what they said is the truth? How much of it is an assumption? How much of it can I change, or is a fact, or something I can do about it? So it's not like we have a lot of control over a lot of things. We don't, but we have a control on ourselves on how to respond to a feedback. So even amazing feedback could be, even I can get into that overconfidence, or that, oh, I am the greatest person, but I can also look at it in a way as where I can change myself, or where I can provide a better thing, or a lot more than just this. So what can I change? What do I have control over? Some people can say certain things which are not even true, so those are not facts, so those are things I'm assuming. So it's in your hand. How do you accept the feedback? How much of it you process? How much of it you use? So I hope that answers your question, Rimpa.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Kevin.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening.
Ma'am, it was a great session as you have shared some of the morals to adopt. But I just want to ask that what were the strategies you find most effective, and were there any like specific turning points that helped you to start on the path to recovery?
I think the first thing was that I hit rock bottom. I didn't have a choice. Like, I hit rock bottom completely. That is the main reason I decided to have to help somebody, because I didn't want anybody to hit rock bottom to start helping themselves. So that is the first thing what I want to, leave you out there with, is that it's okay if you're not feeling okay, like, it's okay. Take a step back, because what gives you pain may not give me pain. Okay, that doesn't mean I can judge you that you feel bad for such kind of things. I can't judge you with that, because what my pain you may not understand, but I am I have the right to feel pain about it. It's the same thing with you. So do not let anybody's judgment, because when a person has a thorn on their leg and they're walking across a field, a person who has no thorn on his leg and is wearing amazing shoes and walking, that person will never understand what feels like for the person with the thorn on his leg to walk across the field. They can only say, I understand you've got hurt, but will they actually know the pain of walking across that field? No, it's you, your strength, what you can do to walk across the field, no matter what anybody says. It's very few people who can understand what it's like for you to uh, go through your journey, and I think you are answerable to yourself the most. So you take your step, but take it aram se, like, take it one step at a time. You know where your flaws are, where your strengths are, where your difficulties are, and you have the power over yourself. Use it wisely. If you need help, please seek help. Please do not hold back. Please do not think that somebody will judge you, or please do not think of yourself as weak to ask for help. Please do ask for help if you need help in whatever it is, in whatever challenge you're facing. Please do ask for help, and don't be too hard on yourself. I think that is the biggest thing I realized, that I was so hard on myself when I was depressed and when I didn't know what was going on, that I felt like I was a huge burden. But when my therapist told me that you have this diagnosis, that it actually is there, and there are people suffering with it, there are people recovering from it, you're not alone, it was such a huge relief for me, because I spoke to somebody else who had the same issues, and they made so much sense to me. Until you speak it out, or until you talk about it to somebody, you never know, because our mind is so amazing that it can make good things also bad and bad things good. So that power our mind has. So you need to take control of that thing and tell you that makes you convince you that bad is good, that where are the pros and cons, facts and assumptions, take all of. My sister always asks me, when you have a phone, when you have Google Sheets, why do you have to need a book and a pen? Right now technology is advanced so much, why do you need a book and a pen? But I get satisfaction only when I take a book and a pen and I write it down. None of us write, that our handwritings are too forgotten. I make columns and I'll be like, the event, pros, cons, feedback. What should I take away? I write it down, so it becomes real for me. And another thing, I can go back to it, is something I wrote. It's important that you are able to see it. So typing it out is easy, but I prefer writing it down. So I hope that answers your question, Kevin. Thank you so much
Yes,
for your
ma'am.
question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am, for such a, there are no more questions from our end.
Okay.
Thank you for such a nice session.
Anyway, I also want to thank everybody for giving me a 1 hour of Saturday today. I hope you have a great weekend and a great week ahead and a year ahead. And thank you so much for coming today and listening to me do buck 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 for 1 hour. So thank you so much. I hope you take some good lessons today. And